Okay, let's start our today's session on understanding operator in URL versus site as well, both in fact. So here's the agenda for today's session. That's a quick recap of previous session, and then how to leverage command operator site and difference between site versus in URL, as well X-ray searches and types of X-ray searches. So in our agenda itself, we have an answer for X-ray searches and types of X-ray searches. Once we perform it, then we'll get to know what are the X-ray searches and what are the various types of X-ray searches. Comes to quick recap of previous session. Let's go for a previous session and see how to leverage a command operator in title, in text, in combination with in URL in Google search. So definitely like when we saw Google has a 3 different types of output whenever we search for anything, something like this, where we have a URL part and then the title part and the text part. So to appear any of the word in the URL part, what we're doing is in URL colon and that particular word. And to appear any of the word or term in the title part, what we're doing is we're using an operator in title. And then we're giving that particular phrase, something like so yeah, here it is. Thumb rule for using in-URL while using in-URLs as well. I think we didn't cover on. We did cover in detail about the in-URL, but from the last session we missed capturing the notes. Anyways, let's take So So thumb rule for command operator in URL, as we mentioned, while using in URL, every alphabet in URL has to be in a small letter, and it can't be like I is capital, NURL is capital, or INUR is small, and then L is capital, and then that a spacing between the colons and all. Then while using in URL, there should not be any space between keywords. Reason because there is no URL on the whole World Wide Web which has a space. Technically not possible unless space is hidden or with some special character. And then the rule number 3, while using in URL, there should not be any space between in URL as well the colon, and also the space between in URL as well the keyword. And then likewise, thumb rule for using an operator in title. There is no such thumb rule, but use cases of operator title, let's say.
So Shiv, in URL, colon, then the space and keyword, right?
There is no space.
Okay.
In URL, colon
immediately Java.
keyword. Yes. So these are the wrong ones. In URL space colon Java is wrong. That's the reason it's highlighted in red. In URL without colon Java is also wrong. In URL colon space Java is also wrong. What happens when you give in URL colon space Java? This part would be in URL would be understood as a keyword, but not as an operator. Though you might get some of the results where Java you would see in a URL, but what exactly it's trying to do, it's not trying to take it as a Java as a keyword, which is operator driven in the in URL, but rather it's taking URL as well, Java also as a additional keywords. Here if you see. So let's see this example. So here if you see, okay, Java is there, but let's see a couple of more. So here also we have it. So all these searches, what we get is basically with the keywords of URL and Java, but not exactly the command as where Java should be existing in the URL. Like if it is sourceforce.net, so Java is neither existing in the URL, but it could be a part of somewhere in this particular page, both URL as well the Java. So that's reason there shouldn't be any space. Rather, if you give inurl : space, then you would see any of those results. Even if you go to some of the last pages, that Java will be existing in the URL. So here we have a Java. Okay, so there shouldn't be any space while using in URL. Similarly, what are the use cases of India? Basically, when we use an operator in title, the given keyword after in title, but results. Example. So here is the member of technical staff, member of technical staff, member of technical staff. Everywhere it's appearing in the title. Okay, so here it is. And then thumb rules for in title. Almost. all the words in title TI. Should be anyone here? Should be in all the alphabets in title should be in. Anyone wants to answer? Should be in small caps. This operator is case sensitive.
Lowercase.
So let's say in title.
Small.
Now you just miss as a typo where you mention I in a capital letter. So, so it taking it as a keyword. It's not taking it as a an operator. That's the reason it's saying here must include in title member of technical staff. Let's say if we click on this. So it's not really understanding. Let's again once more. So in title, member of technical staff. So where I is capital, where earlier we had number of results, though we have a member of technical staff in the title, but what it's searching is not exactly for member of technical staff in the title, but actually text with the member of technical staff. And there are only 8 results, but wherein when you make it like this, then you have around 59,000 results. So let's say now we make this caps I. So it says that must include member of technical staff like this, must include. So basically it's trying to ignore the whole search syntax because it's not really understanding it as an operator. It's understanding it as a keyword in title colon and again within the double quotes member of technical staff. And that's the reason Google is trying to give some additional suggestion based on what Google is understanding. But ideally, is it understanding that a human is trying to give a member of technical staff only in the title of the search result? Technically, no. It's basically taking it as a what we say as an additional keyword.
So Shiv, in title, if I is small, it will be little different or it's gonna be the same?
So if I is small, what happens is Google understand it as a proper operator, saying
Right.
that, okay, human is trying to search for a member of technical staff in the title.
Right.
Because in title is basically a defined operator. I capital in title is not a defined operator.
Okay.
Similarly, if I just go like this, in title, same 8 results because keywords are not a case sensitive. And when we give in title, here it's not taking it as an operator, it's taking it as a keyword. The whole from here to here, it's trying to take it as a keyword.
So here I can give I small in title, colon, then in double quotes, member of technical staff, or again SMTS.
That you can do. But what we're trying to see here is whether the in title is case sensitive or not. Answer to it is yes, in title is case sensitive, and all the words, all the alphabets of in title like I, N, T, I, T, L, E has to be written in a small letters.
Okay, sure.
Now let's say we just write it in a small letters. Okay, now in title member of technical staff. Now the results is varying usually because it's trying to search for a list of results where member of technical staff is there in the title. And now let's say in title member of technical staff or MTS or SMTS. We can do that also. So now again we have MTS, MTS, then MTS. So this is some official website. Then MTS, MTS, senior member of technical staff, MTS, all those stuff. We can do that. So thumb rule for operator in title are almost similar to thumb rule of inurl, like all the words in title should be in a small caps, as this operator is also case sensitive. Okay. There shouldn't be so in title and colon, in title and keyword. That's fine. So there shouldn't be any space between in title and colon. Example. So what happens when we give in title space member of technical staff? Likewise, the way in URL was showing us what we say as a keyword, an additional keyword. Here also, though we are getting a result, but not necessary member of technical staff is there in the title, though we see these results, but not necessary this member of technical staff would be there in the title, because it's trying to search for now in title and member of technical staff as both the keywords. And that's where we see here in title, bio, or software engineer, member of technical staff, member of technical staff. Once we open the page, again, title would be somewhere. Then again here in text. So it's trying to take all the similar words to in title and trying to search for those particular words, and then additionally with the principal member of technical staff. So it's not really taking it as an operator, rather it's taking it as a additional keyword. In title is one keyword as well. The member of technical staff is another keyword, like in title resume, then member of technical staff, like this. But not necessary this in title is understood as an operator. To make it understand it as an operator, there shouldn't be any space between in title colon. After that, whatever the keyword is there, it should be in continuation. All right, I'll just take a pause. Any further doubts on in title or in URL and the use cases and thumb rules of it? Yes, no.
Nothing as such.
We're
good to go.
Great. So that's pretty much about in title, in URL, as well in text I mentioned. No need to really use it, but in future we'll see in which use case scenario we need to use in text. But otherwise, for now, in text is just the similar another text search, where whatever here we are seeing, we are getting that particular part in the text, like in text, in text, member of technical staff. So what are the results we get in the text? It could be there in the title also, but as mentioned, like it in the text of the results, member of technical staff would be existing. Unless we need some explicit result where this particular word should be appearing in the text, that's where we are mentioning in text. Something like in text, in text. And similarly, it works like just the normal text in text. So again, here we have member of technical staff and @Gmail. Maybe from LinkedIn we got it, though we did not give. Again, these are the member of technical staff who has mentioned their email IDs. So again, something like this. It could be anything with the Gmail thing. Now, similarly, we just search for member of technical staff without in text and gmail.com. We still got some similar results where we have member of technical staff and gmail.com in the results. So in text, you give or you don't give, it doesn't make much difference. But when we go in some of the advanced sessions, we'll come back on an in-text operator and see what unique role this in-text is playing and how. But for now, consider it as in-text, don't really have to give, just the additional keyword, which is also a text. You can simply give additional keywords and it will search for the same. So all the results most similar to whatever we gave with in-text. All right, so I'll just take a pause. Any doubt on in-text? Difference between when we give in-text and when we do not give in-text and just enter the text. There is no much difference. Both will fetch us a similar results. Only, as I mentioned, in future sessions, when we are doing some of the advanced searches, that time we might know the benefit of leveraging in-text. Specifically, when we need that particular word in the text format, where we don't need, when we write a lengthy Boolean and Google is ignoring some of the keywords because it's exhausting more than 32 keywords. So in that use case, we want some of the keyword which Google should not exhaust, means which Google should not ignore. In those situations, we write those particular keyword using an operator in text, so that we're making sure that Google is not ignoring these particular keywords, but it's ignoring something else, which is not really given with the strong command. In text is something like, if I have to tell you in a layman language, it's like while preparing a JD, we mentioned some must to have skills and some good to have skills. So when we're giving a keywords, it's like a good to have skills where we're giving a command to Google saying that these are the keywords what I'm searching. So Google searches it as a algo of good to have, though it will give us a list of result. But if our list of keywords are going beyond 32, in that case, what Google does is like it tries to ignore a list of results or ignore a list of keywords which has a least results. So what we do now, we use a command in text and then give those particular keywords, so that we are making sure that Google is not ignoring, though that particular keyword has a least number of result, but Google is not ignoring, because now this command is going, when we use in text for that particular keyword, this command is going for Google as a must to have keyword. So the difference is that. So that's what I mentioned, when we go in some of the advanced session, and when we use some of the lengthier Boolean, that time we'll realize what's the benefit of in text. But for now, just keep it simple. Yeah, I'll just take a pause. Any doubts or confusion in this?
Shiv, one more thing. Can you please repeat it in text as a layman language? One more time, please.
Yeah. So as a layman language, in text is something like when we are creating a job description, when we're creating a JD, in JD, we mentioned some of the must to have skills and some of the good to have skills. So let's say without using in text, if I'm searching for some of the keywords, that means I'm asking Google, give me a list of results which has this list of keywords, all these particular keywords. So in that way, what Google does, Google, let's say now our Boolean has more than 32 keywords. So in that scenario, what Google does, it tries to give us a list of results which has all the keywords, but also it tried to exclude some of the keywords which has a least number of results. Okay, which has a least number of results. When it goes beyond 32, it will start excluding a list of results which has, or sorry, it start excluding list of keywords which has least number of results. So now say that is good to have, something like Google is taking this algo as a good to have. Google will try to give a list of results with all the keywords, majority of them, but there might be some of the keywords which has a list of the results. So Google will say, okay, fine, this is not the important thing because I give almost up to 30 keywords, but maybe these are the 2 keywords which has a least result and human might not need it. So let me exclude that. So that will get excluded. Something like in Naukri, you give a keywords, but when you go to on some later pages, you'll see that keywords are missing. You'll not get all those particular keywords. Keywords are missing. That means those are kind of a good to have keywords, what Naukri or Google is trying to understand. And then trying to exclude some of the keywords which has a least number of results. So similarly, now when we give, let's say that last 2 words which has the least number of results, but we need the 2 words mandatory, must to have keywords as a mandatory skill, as a must to have keyword. That time when we do, what we do is like we give a command in text and give those particular keywords in there. So what Google does in that case, it will not ignore those 2 words. It will try to prioritize those 2 words, and rest of the 30 keywords, it will try to rearrange the order. And from that 30 keywords, whatever the keywords has a least number of results, it will exclude that. But whatever the keywords we mentioned with in text, Google will try to show us a list of results which are priority with that particular keywords. So it's in text is something like we're giving a strong command to Google saying that don't ignore these keywords. It's more of that.
Sure, thank you.
It's like must to have skill in a layman term.
Got it, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so that's about in text, that's about in URL, that's about in title. So any further doubts in URL, in title, or in text?
So
No,
Shiv, sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Shiv, yeah, so basically you mean to say is in URL and in title are the like the key things where we need to doing the things on the internet sourcing. In text will come later.
In text also is a key thing, but later it will come. For now, you can just ignore it.
Right.
When you build a lengthy Boolean, larger Boolean strings, that time the in text has a different role to play altogether.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, someone else has some question? Anyone else? There was someone. So any further doubts or questions in text, in URL, in title? Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Let me just scroll down.
Shiv, I have a question here. So these commands will work in Microsoft Edge as well in the same manner what they have been doing in Google Chrome.
This will work on a strongly on a Chrome, but Microsoft Edge I did not try. Bing, Microsoft Edge, it would work in Bing, but Edge I'm not really sure. Just check once.
Okay, thank you.
So construction of URL is also we are fine, right? How the URLs are getting constructed. In last to last sessions we have covered. For any of the link, how does that particular link construction will take place? All right, so now coming to operator site. So let's say
Shiv, what we are planning to do now?
Yeah, I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay, now here we have a couple of pages which are company profile
Mhm.
or a group's profile, company,
Mhm.
company,
Right.
company, company, and a company. Okay,
Mhm.
now let's open a couple of pages which are individual.
Which is group in this ship?
I'll come back. So this is company profile. Here we have a LinkedIn groups, Boolean string, the internet sourcing community. This is by one of my sourcing mother. Most of my sourcing I learned from her by following her blogs. You can follow this.
Okay.
Her free content is also more than enough to give us an indication to dive in. Very much coming. So this is about group. This is a group link. So these are the company links. Company newest base. And then company corporate soldiers. Company India walk-ins. Company LinkedIn. And then these are individual profiles where linkedin.com/Sanjay Jha, linkedin.com/Mangesh Deshpande, linkedin.com/Neil SRV30, linkedin.com/in/Mother Bulb. Okay, so now let's try to understand what are the difference between site and inurl. Now, generally, what we are doing is, just give me a second. I'm getting some call. Give me a moment. Okay. So what we're trying to do while we're trying to search for individual profiles, what we were doing, we were leveraging their URL part for the individual profiles, and we were using like in URL :linkedin.com/in and then we were given like this previous searches like in title MTS or in title SMTS or in title member of technical staff, then Java, SQL, microservices. So with this result, we got a list of people from linkedin.com. Now let's say in linkedin.com in title STE or ST2. ST3 or SD3. SD2. Member of technical staff, and then Java.
Just a quick question here.
Mhm.
Site colon is used for the close-ended search, right? Where we can make the X-rays, and in URL is basically open-ended search.
Absolutely, we are coming there.
Okay, thank you.
So Java, microservices, and
SQL.
Okay, now if we see, we have a list of results all from LinkedIn when we use in URL linkedin.com/in, which is for the individual profiles. And then in title, we have used SDE, SD2, SD3, various searches like this. And then Java and microservices or SQL. So Java microservices SQL, it would be there. Once we open the page, it will be there in the text of the pages. So now we go to second. Now we go to third. Okay, so totally 28 results, and then let's come back to the first. So instead of using now in URL, what we'll do, we'll use site. We'll use the same set of keywords, everything remains same. Just that instead of in URL, now we'll use SITE, site. So site and then in URL. If we see the list of results, what we got is almost similar. Maybe like 16,000 there, 17,000 here. But anyways, Google will not let us see more than 300 or 400 results. Once we go to the next page, it will stop us once we view 300 or 400 results. But whatever the 300 or 400 results, will we see the order of the result also. Uttam Singh, Puneet, Durgesh, Anjali Singh, Arun, Vignesh, Devdatta, Simranjit, Akash, Jofin. That is while using in URL. Uttam, Rahul, Ravi, Shubham, Anjali, Sanjay, Akash, Amit, Tanvir, Paras. So almost it's close to similar. Just here and there, the ordering is different. But when you are using in URL, one observation, if you see, you can see maximum up to in a one go at a first go up to 28 to 30 results. And then we'll have to repeat the search with the vomited results. And that's where now we see all the list of results. And again, the ordering is similar to site now. Okay, but when we use site, it will not restrict us up to 30 results in the first go. It will directly give us a list of all the results, whatever we have it.
So Shiv,
so now,
sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, now the second observation, as soon as you go to next page, site also given us 15,300 result. In URL also given us 15,300 results. So ideally, what is the difference in that case when we are using in URL and when we are using site? Because both the things are giving us the same results. When we are using in URL, linkedin.com/in, then in title, additional keywords, and then additional keywords with Java, microservices, and SQL. And when we are using site also, both the results are almost giving me a similar results. Then where is the difference between in URL and site? So what happens is when we use site, the site operator is specifically used for a link of a website. Now let's say linkedin.com/in, we are aware of it. But let's say site, I would say CV. And similarly, I would say in URL, CV. inurl CV and the list of the additional keywords. So I got the results because CV is existing in the all the URLs. But will I get for the site? So I'm here to run. Yeah, for site CV, I'm not getting it because there is no such site CV which exists. Let's say cv.com. I'm not getting it because there is no such site cv.com which exists. So basically, site is to target to a particular website link, but wherein inurl is to target a particular word in the URL. It's not targeting a particular website. That's reason Ashish is mentioning inurl is more of open-ended and site is more of closed-ended. The reason because the site is basically to target a list of keywords in the entire URL of the website, is basically to target the website. Site is targeting a URL of the websites, but inurl is not targeting the URL of the website. Inurl is actually targeting that particular word after inurl, and that particular word could appear anywhere in the whole URL, in the beginning, in the last, in the middle, anywhere. But wherein for the site, that particular link what you gave, it should exist in the beginning. Like for this example, site linkedin.com/in. This is something existing. Every result has a, though it is showing in.linkedin.com, but once you open, then you would see that it begins with linkedin.com/in. So if you see here, it begins with linkedin.com/in. You don't have to mention site www.https and all everything. But yes, whatever the URL pattern after linkedin.com/in is what we are mentioning here. Now let's say similarly
Sorry,
for,
Shiv.
yeah.
So Shiv, for example, LinkedIn.com is also site as well as URL, correct?
Okay.
So how different is it? Because we are also seeing similar kind of results, right? Will it be similar for all kinds of search, or it can vary from search to search?
Great question. See, site is simple to target any website link which begins with.
Okay.
Let's say,
Shiv, just a small thing here.
hmm,
How should we realize that which is a site which can be X-rayed? Any specific thing we need to take care of while X-raying any site specific?
that will cover in future, which are the sites, how to identify the number of sites to X-ray,
Correct.
but try to
Correct.
understand the basic of it, the difference between site and inurl.
Okay. Okay.
So, which is pretty much here for our future session, how to identify understanding sourcing test, X-ray for year of experience, identifying various sites to X-ray.
Correct.
Okay, so that's possible
All right.
in a future. But
All
for
right.
now, as someone else also asked, how do I know? Can you rephrase your question, Pooja, or who was that?
So Shiv, this is Shri here. I wanted to know, in site and in URL are same. For example, it's both cases, it is linkedin.com. Right? It's also giving similar kind of number of resumes or profiles you can see. How different is it? Will it be same in all searches, or it's gonna vary from search to search?
No, it's not going to vary from search to search. Site is basically to search for a list of results where the URL of that particular link is beginning with that. Let's say we go to Quora now. Okay. Now here on Quora, Now, Manishra Srivastav, his profile URL looks like www.quora.com/profile. Sanjeev Thakur, www.quora.com/profile. Naman Srivastav, www.quora.com/profile. Quora.com/profile. Now, in these use cases, when I know for this particular site a list of individual profiles or list of jobs or list of whatever the content what we are seeing, which has a specific URL pattern, which is site colon in Quora case, that is quora.com/profile. I would remove all this. And then let's come here. I will just take these ones.
So Shiv, I can also say in URL colon quora.com/profile, right?
Now you see this same search. We use it here. Instead of site, I'll just make it in URL. So this also gives us the same similar set of results. And the order is also a little bit here and there, but let's move to the next page. And as I mentioned, when we use in URL, in a first go, we got up to 30 results, then we need to repeat. So 2640. Let's go to next. 2350. Let's go to next.
What will happen if we use instead of in URL, we use site? The results will be same, or like there will be a difference?
Results are same. Here we're using site quora.com/profile. Here we're using in URL quora.com/profile. Now in this case, what's happening is we know a URL pattern for individual profiles on this particular link. Though it could be Quora, though it could be LinkedIn, though it could be GitHub, or whichever the thing.
Right.
Okay. And that's where when we're using site, because we know a link path of that particular website. And all the results which are given over here are starting with quora.com/profile. Every result are starting with quora.com/profile. Every result starting with quora.com/profile. Even in the URL, because it is a defined link which we know, here we have in URL quora.com/profile. Every result is starting with quora.com/profile because that link we have defined. But now let's say, as you asked me, how do we know how to X-ray various sites? So for Quora, it is quora.com/profile. For LinkedIn, it is linkedin.com/in. So there could be hundreds of sites with the hundreds of various stuff like that. But how do I identify what are the list of sites which can be X-rayed whenever we enter in a new market? So instead of giving up that particular whole link, what I would do, I would do just in URL profile. There is no profile link. Now you see textbook, grade up, prep, ambition box, member of technical staff, hire IT people. So all these things, the profile is existing in the URL part. Here, the profile is existing in the URL part. Profile is existing in the URL part. So when we give in URL profile, this word profile could be anywhere in the entire URL. Left, right, center, anywhere. But when we use site, that particular a link of a website has to be mentioned. But wherein in URL is not searching for the link of a website. If we give, it is searching for the link of a website. But the command of in URL is basically to search for that particular keyword in the whole URL of the various websites. Now let's say we just give in URL CV, or thumb rule of in URL, whenever we use in URL, there shouldn't be any space.
Resume.
CV or resume. So now here we get a list of result from the hundreds of sites which we are not really aware of. It could be from the personal website. It could be from the sample resume sites. It could be from the post. The CV is existing, Balaji CV. It is existing in the URL part. That CV word is existing in the URL part. And that's what it's giving us. But wherein can I mention site CV or resume? Same thing, site CV or resume. I would not get, because site is basically defined to target a list of a website result with the proper link. So let's say CV or resume.com. Okay, so resume.com, there is some website existing called resume.com, and we have one particular thing, but that's not ideal. Yeah.
Twitter for both in site and in URL. Sorry, site and in URL.
Twitter.com. So twitter.com site is existing and we are getting the result. But wherein in URL is basically searching for that particular keyword in the entire URL, left, right, and center. It not necessarily have to start from the beginning. Now site twitter.com. Now if you see the results, immediately it's starting with twitter.com. Let's see this mobile.twitter. So it's still a part of Twitter, is a part of a URL, and here www is missing. So www is replaced by mobile, I believe, some Twitter page. But rest other twitter.com, 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 twitter.com. So yeah, rest everything. We have a twitter.com /XYZ, whatever it is, we did not define it. And then we have a MTS stuff.
Shiv, I have a quick question here. Is there any mechanism where we can find out the best thing to go with in terms of getting the resumes or something? I mean, which site or which URL provides the best results or something? So
there is no such
measure
mechanism.
on this?
Search, research, repeat.
Okay.
There is no such mechanism to identify which site is giving the best result. The reason because social media is changing, evolving every day. Okay. So whenever I entered in a new market, let's say Germany, Finland, or such kind of a places where I'm not really aware what site would work. So inurl has done a magic over there. So it has given me a list of variety of sites which I can X-ray. Whenever we are entering in a new territory where we're not really sure which sites are providing these profiles, resume or social profiles, that's where the inurl CV, inurl resume, inurl profile, inurl me, inurl whatever people. So inurl people. So this would give us a list of results. Inurl people, Quora, ambition box people. Gives us a variety of results. Student affair people, MTS people, MIT. Let's say inurl IIT. Professor IIT Dhanbad, IIT Madras, Wait a second. IIT Delhi. IITD. Okay. IIT. Okay, so these two results. So csd.iit awesome. So let's say now I would use this in URL csc.iitd.ac.in. Again in URL resume or CV. So yeah, from IIT Delhi, we have a list of results of candidates who has posted their resume on IIT website. So all this from IIT D is for Delhi. Now let's say IIT B. So that is from IIT Bombay. IIT M.
We'll be able to pull out, right?
can
For
pull it,
example,
yes.
maybe BMS or Dan Sagar in Bangalore or something like that.
Yeah. So similarly, like here in URL, similarly now we know a URL structure of this IIT universities. So that's where we are using now. Okay. Site also.
Okay. And we can even give the year, right? The year of pass out. Or will that be difficult because we will use text there?
So cover in forward. We'll cover that in forward.
Okay.
There we need to use an advanced operator around, but we'll come in future for that, maybe in another 1-2 sessions. Okay. So yeah, this is for India basically. I'm just trying to see IIT. Now let's say NIT Bombay, NIT. NITW. So let's say in URL NITW. Okay, so we have a couple of results. Now again we'll say in URL resume. It's not there. Or let's say resume or CV. So let's say in URL NIT, in URL resume or CV. Okay, for Durgapur, no, it's not. Maybe NIT do not have a thing of storing a resumes, but there could be a way. So yeah, that's basically a difference between when we use in URL and when we use in title. In URL is basically searching for that specific keyword in the whole URL. but wherein in the when we're using an operator site, that particular link of that particular website, whatever we have given after site, it has to start from there, and it has to be a proper website link. Like site CV is not a website, and that's the reason we are not getting any result. Like site resume is not a website, and that's the reason we are not getting result. But when we use site twitter.com, it's a website, and we got the result. Site linkedin.com, we have a results. It could be jobs, it could be individual profile, it could be a variety mix of kind of a stuff, because we did not give a here we did not give a website link which is redirecting towards the individual pages. If it has to redirect towards the individual pages, individual profiles, then we need to understand how the individual profile URL looks like. And we see that individual profile URL looks like linkedin.com/in. As soon as we give in, we get all those list of individual profiles. Similarly, as soon as we give jobs, we get list of all those particular jobs. Or let's say similarly, when we give list of linkedin.com/groups. So if there are some groups existing with this, it will get, but otherwise, let's say Java. So we get that particular Java group. Now let's say instead of group, site company, we get the list of companies. Let's say internet as a service, as a service, as a service, contact, CC as a service, database as a service. So we get list of some results. So headquartered Bangalore, SAS Labs, SAS Insider, Cockney SAS, some of the list of companies dealing with SAS technologies. So all are the individual company links. So let's say crib. We want furthermore. So linkedin.com/company is basically the URL link for the identifying the companies on a LinkedIn. Now homepage, contact, funding via Crunchbase. So Bangalore. So I think this is a gray area. Yeah, a gray part can't be X-rayed, which we covered in previous thing. But let's say what else? Okay. Employee size, let's see. So yeah, we get a list of startups which has employees. Let's say okay, 1 to 10 employees. 1 to 10 employees, 11 to 50 employees, 51 to 100 will it be? I'm not sure if it is 51 to 100 or 51 to 500, or else let's say 101. think 11 to 50 is fine. 1 to 10 is fine. We need to identify if it is 51 to 11 to 50. So in LinkedIn, what's the count it's giving? 51 to, let's say, 500. So though we are getting a result because we have given in OR option. It's taking this 1 to 10 and 11 to 50. 9, 11 to 50. Or let's say, is it wait a second, let's see. Okay, 51 to 200 it is. So let's say 51 to.
Shiv, can you please repeat it one more time from where you get to see that list?
Yeah. So now we see here 51 to 200. So I just went search for something, let's say home. SWAS companies.
Okay. Okay.
And then company size.
Okay.
So it's
Got
1
it.
to 10, 11 to 50, 51 to 200, 201 to 500, 501 to 1000. So same thing will leverage over here. So here we get now 51 to 200. Now
Got it.
201 or 201 to 500. Yeah, like that. So here we are using site linkedin.com/company because we know that defined URL of the individual websites on a linkedin.com, that is linkedin.com/company. But wherein, let's say, we just say site company, we would not get any result because company is not a site. But similarly, if I use site, instead of site, we use inurl company Bangalore, then we get a variety of results, maybe from angel.com or Prosphere or variety of companies, variety of website we would get a result, and a variety of website which are showing a list of companies. So angel.com company, and again this one. Now let's say we use this site angel.com company, just remove all this and say SWAS Bangalore. So angel.co/company SAS Bangalore. Again, we have a list of variety of companies and their jobs. So let's say about minus jobs. So maybe job post they were showing. So without that, okay, all these are job post. And if I'm saying minus jobs, then there is no such. Right, so here jobstoday.com/in/company. This is some other website. Trigger.ai. This is one of the company itself. So yeah, I'll just take a pause. Any questions between understanding of what the site is doing and how we can leverage site versus inurl, wherein inurl is more of open-ended, which is searching for a specific keyword in the whole URL of the page, but it is not searching for a specific URL unless we are giving a specific URL. But wherein site is searching for a specific URL, site is searching for a specific link of a website, which is starting from that, like angel.co. Every result is starting with angel.co. Or let's say linkedin.com. Every result is starting with linkedin.com. Or let's say twitter.com. Every result is starting with twitter.com. Or let's say quora.com. Every result is starting with quora.com. Or let's say facebook.com. Every result is starting with facebook.com. MS my Facebook. So here www must be missing. Okay, it's still after opening, it's still starting with facebook.com. So site is basically to target a particular website and a link of particular website, but wherein URL is to target that specific word in the whole URL. It's not targeting any website. It's basically targeting that particular keyword in the whole URL, and the positioning of that particular keyword, it could be anywhere. Let's say if I give in URL Facebook and I will not give .com. If I give .com, the search would be something similar, but let's say here all thing in the beginning. So now if you see, we're getting a list of results from the various websites, but the Facebook is there in the URL. That particular word Facebook is there in the URL, and the positioning is not defined here. It could be anywhere in the whole URL. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubts on in URL versus site? As I mentioned, in URL is more of open-ended, which is searching for the given keyword in the whole URL of the search result, but wherein site is mentioned to search for a particular website. Like if we see site :CV, there would be no result because there is no site existing with CV. But when we go for site :resume.com, we got the result because there is a site existing with the resume.com. Something like site. Is there a website existing with cv.com? No. Is there a website existing with? It could give also. If the website is existing, it could give something like for a resume. So let me just remove all this. Site resume.com. So yeah, all this resume. It's existing, so we are getting. If it is not existing, we would not get it. So it could be a sample resumes or anything it could be. All right, so I'll just take a pause. Any further doubts? On site versus in URL?
Shiv, just a quick thing here. So again, my point comes in the same manner. So how to be sure that going via in URL or site gives us the good results? So how to be sure on this?
See, that's completely open-ended. You can't really be sure of it unless you search and see the results.
Yeah.
So first, First step, whenever you enter in a new territory, and if you don't know which are the website, are giving a list of individual profiles. In that case, what you do? You use a keywords like inurl profile, inurl people, inurl inurl uh, 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 something about, inurl me, inurl
Yeah.
about me. All those open-ended guesses you will take. And once inurl resume, inurl CV, all those open-ended guesses you will take, like inurl CV, and then we got a list of uh, a website from IITs and all. Then you take that particular website link, construct, see that, okay, fine, IIT Delhi, these are the,
Right.
this is the URL pattern for the CVs. That's where
Right.
now you are using that particular URL pattern. Either you're using that in URL or you're using that in a CV. If you want to target two things in a URL, then you are using again in URL, that particular a link of URL, and then particular word like CV or resume in URL.
Got it. So, Shiv, so basically it's a hit and trial. You just keep on looking for with your search.
Research, repeat. That's it.
All right. Thank you.
So there is no right answer for that, which is more productive way of doing it. I would not say there is one specific thing. This is only right. No.
Right. Right.
There is no right. There is no wrong. It's more of a right approach rather than the right answer.
Right. Right. Thank you, Shiv.
It's subjective.
So Shiv, can we do something like or between in URL and site?
You can do that.
Okay.
You can do that.
So here in one place itself, we'll have a combination of profiles and there won't be duplication, right?
Duplication will be there.
Okay.
So in URL, CV or resume, and site github.com, Bangalore or Bengaluru, Java. Now let's see. Why? Okay, wait, I'm coming. So now if you see, we have a list of results from GitHub because we have given site github.com. And also we have a list of results where in URL resume or in URL CV is existing. And with the additional keywords like Java and Bangalore as well, some of the location related stuff. And all the results are from GitHub because we have given site github.com. And these are the hidden resumes in GitHub. So resume word is appearing wherever it could be, but it's appearing in the URL. So now here it is last for github.com. And then the resume here. Resume in a code format in the backend. Let's see the front end part of it. This is no more existing. So yeah, like this, in a combination of in URL and a site. Now the combination of in URL or site, in URL resume or in URL CV or site github.com. This would show us a list of results, not just from the GitHub, from the variety of website as well from the GitHub. So here we have from GitHub. From SlideShare. From GitHub. And variety of site. Because in URL CV, in URL resume is triggering to millions of sites. But wherein in URL github.com or site github.com is only triggering to GitHub. So we have some limited result from GitHub and we have some unlimited result from variety of sites. All right, so I'll just take a pause. Any further doubts or questions? So now github.io/CV. I identified one more URL. So let's say site github. Huh?
I hope you will be mentioning the search in the notes as well, because this will help us to make it refer it further, basically.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So from GitHub, let me just start capturing immediately, otherwise I'll miss out. So yeah, any further doubts?
No, Shiv, I think we are good. Only thing we need to keep trying these searches. Yeah.
Yeah. It's more of a practice, in fact.
Correct.
So yeah, that's it for today. If you have any doubts, feel free to stay back and ask, but otherwise you can call for a day. We can meet next week. Okay.
Sure, Shiv.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Shiv.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night. Take care.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. I'll upload these videos in a couple of time and update in the group.
All right, Shiv. Thank you.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.